got a good windstorm going on, so it may affect signal. Just so you guys know, we got about 25 to 30 mile an hour winds that are going over us. Seems to be a daily occurrence as of late. I mean, we're getting the warm weather, at least the temperature wise, but with the wind chill, it's much different. So, some of you guys may notice that in the background there is no farm girl. Um, well, she packed her stuff today and decided that she wanted to move on. Um, what I will say about this is that, you may see her again. I told her, take a couple days, let the emotion boil out. Let's have an actual talk. And if that actually, if we can sit down like two adults and come to a realistic expectation, maybe we can still commingle together. Otherwise, we're going to be going our own separate ways indefinitely. Uh, yeah, Chris, it's, you know what? Here's the thing. And I knew that some of you guys would say, oh, we'll talk, da da da. And here, I indirectly ended the relationship. And, well, I didn't know that I did it at the time. I had to come back to the trailer to kind of find out what happened. And essentially, because there was a breach of trust between us, there was, it just it caused a lot of frustration for me, and especially kind of the way the things were going. So instead of sitting and having an explosion here in the trailer in front of her, I chose to go for a walk. And while I was on the walk screaming it out, she overheard some of it, didn't like what I had to say. And so she said, "Okay, it's time for me to leave." So, I mean, on one hand, um, I'm sad to see her go. I kind of wish that we could work this out, but if she's gonna go this route, she's gonna go this route, and she's gonna have to pay whatever consequences she's got coming to her for all the different decisions that she's making. So what we're having is the casserole tonight. So I didn't want to make anything really extravagant, especially for myself and stuff like that. So I have been really working on, not only transitioning. What's up, Platypus? Nice to see you. What's up? Are you still staying in Concho? Yes. Property's mine. Um, because of all of the financial support that I had given her, she felt obligated to leave me the trailer, even though I'm still into it as well. And so that was her decision. So and quite frankly, we had talked about this beforehand because I didn't want to have something that was going to be here and then move. I wanted something that was going to be permanent and that was going to be something that we could live in. And so we are coming to your area in a few months. Well, that's nice, Clyde. You gotta hook up with me. You gotta come out and say hi. But let me get this burner going so that um I can get this going. But what's up, Bucknut? Nice to see you, buddy. So, anyways, it is what it is. I I'm not worried about it. It will work its way out. One of the things that I learned in business, because when my first business partner and I went our separate ways, people don't want to hear your sadness. They don't want to hear your moping and stuff like that. Because it was hard to separate our partnership because, she was really good at what she did, but she was being destructive in the houses, costing us clients. And I finally had to say, no, I can't do this anymore. And so therefore we went our separate ways, because I was the one that started the business and invited her in. She was the one that had to leave. And so it just I don't know. I forgot where I was going. My brain is kind of in a fuzzy state, but you know I anyways, but I want to talk to you. I was talking with homeless entrepreneur today, and him and I had our weekly talk like we usually do, and I wanted to. He brought up some ideas because we started talking about what the f are we talking about, dude? Yeah, I know. I kind of just talked to Stephanie today, and we're going to do this. You are freaking awesome, Clyde. I'm happy for you. How close to me are you gonna be? So, you just missed a little bit of drama. That's all.
Um, it's, oh, I remember why I was even talking about my former business partner. It's just going your separate ways. It's, you kind of, it sucks, but sometimes it's just got to be done. So it has to be tough to have your relationship so public. Well, yeah, I mean, they're somewhat public, but I mean, if a woman is going to be in my life, she's going to be part of my life. Okay, this is the inevitable thing. Is if she's going to be in my life, she's going to be part of my life, which means she's going to be helping me, whether it be, helping me on the back end with making posts, or saying hi and being and kind of, interacting to kind of help fill in when it's needed. Having something like that is important. And I want my partner to participate in my life, and my life happens to be YouTube. So some of my relationship is public, but I haven't talked about the fine details and stuff like that. I was able to have a conversation um, with sorry, with Joanna today. Sorry guys, my brain is kind of like this, kind of I don't know, not necessarily stressed me out, but it was very taxing, and so my brain is kind of, I'm having a lot of, you guys will see the kind of what brain damage looks like when you're really scatterbrained. But oops, I need to turn that down. Um, but no, I worked on with her. I worked on keeping our relationship private. Now the fact that we were together, that was public. But as far as all the things that were going on and behind the scenes, I really don't talk about that much. Did you see the email with the affiliate link for Roaring Fire? I have not. I will check. It might be in my junk, because I went and checked my email a couple hours ago. I didn't see anything. Um, so, one of the St. John's properties. Ooh, St. John's is nice, and but compared to Concho, I mean, we would go into St. John's to get stuff done. St. John's has a good hardware store, and it's also the pharmacy. They do have local doctors' offices. They do have a couple of restaurants. But the pizza place, it was good. But it's actually a much more vibrant town. That's kind of where we have to go for resources versus going into Sholo, which is like when you have to do, something big like, oh, what is it? Something big like, what is it? Uh, um, it's like going to Walmart or going to Tractor Supply or something like that. But yeah, you'll love St. John's. It's a much better area than. I forward your email I got, so maybe it's in spam. Okay, I will. How far in the sticks am I? I'm actually 3.5 miles from the library. So tomorrow at about 10 o'clock in the morning, I gotta get up. I gotta put on. I gotta like figure out a way to pack my gear. I'm probably gonna leave Sam here. Until I don't know. But yeah, 3.5 miles. So I can do that in about an hour and a half. And that's just me kind of moseying along, not really trying to move very fast. So that is something that uh, uh, yeah, is easy. And then into the rest of town, it'd probably be about another mile and a half. So if I go into town, it's going to be an all-day thing, because I got to go in there to get a shower, maybe buy some food or some dog food. So just a walk into town alone is gonna be like an all-day event for me because I'm walking. It'd be nice to be able to get a bike though. Looking to be out of town as well as possible. Yeah, it just St. John's is a much better area, is a much nicer area. So if you're going there, yeah, you're going in the right direction, man. Yeah, I definitely when we got to St. John's, I was like, oh my God, I wish we were near St. John's, but we're out here in Concho, and I like Concho. They also have a shower house there in St. John's. It's the same people that own that one own the one here in Concho. So, but yeah, you'll be 15 minutes down the road from me, so that'll be nice. You can come over, say hi, and hang out for a minute or two. So it'd be nice too.
So, but yeah, looking to be out of town. So let's talk about the state of Tuck. So I talked about, I've been talking about, my work with homeless entrepreneur, but from last January to this January, things have really changed. I really kind of stepped into my niche of talking about homelessness and homeless survival, but I've put out so much content over the last year that I've got close to 1,000 videos just on that subject alone. Okay, so now it's time to pivot towards preparing for homelessness, and avoiding homelessness, and how to get out of homelessness. That is really where I'm going to go. But how do I be able to generate interest? Because this this content, this platform, is a way for me to not only to give you guys, meaningful advice and tips and tricks on how I've managed to survive over the last 25 years being chronically homeless, but this is also a way for me to push my idea out into the public arena so that a discussion could be made so that I can actually get some sort of traction going. And so that is what I'm going to be working on for this next year. And so what that means and so some things and some suggestions. Hold on, let's go over here since now I got a seat. Um, it's nice to be able to sit at a reasonable. Okay. Um, let's see here. Okay. So I got to be this way. All right. All right. Um, anyways, just what we're talking about is like what's happening with the LA wildfires. People are talking about how the rich are getting hurt and how everything else, but nobody's talking about how the homeless are being affected. I mean, the whole city of Los Angeles is on fire. 10 million residents forced to evacuate. Which I have an opinion. If you guys want to continue this conversation, now is the time where a cart would come in handy, especially if it's a bike trailer. Yes, it would. I would be willing to do a bike trailer, but hear me out on this whole theory about the LA wildfires. Is that there was a terrorist cell, Iranian cell that was found in the desert of a group of guys that they ended up capturing that were on their way to San Diego. Okay, there's a lady that Farm Girl listens to that somebody came out with a rocket launcher and launched it in, hoping it would start a fire and stuff like that. Luckily, they got pictures and they were able to see some of what was going on and stuff like that. But um, terrorist cells and rocket launchers, considering the contention we're having with Iran over the Middle East, there is a likelihood that this could definitely be a an act of war. So, you guys have heard me talk about, and I talked about it um, during the Nord Stream pipeline deal. And during the Nord Stream pipeline deal, I said, "Hey, Billy Meyer said something that was kind of interesting. It was that the fires in the West would be considered an act of war. I thought it would maybe, oh, it's the Nord Stream, but now that I've got to see information coming out from what's going on in the LA wildfires, um, I think that may have been what he was talking about, an actual fire in the West, for America. And so this might be an actual act of war that's happening. Because you got to realize this is the second largest city in America. It is our gateway to the East. Without the LA port, we don't get anything from China or anywhere in Asia, or I guess it would be East Africa, because they can just do straight here to the ports here in LA and have all their goods here, delivered here to America. Well, you just took that out. That is something that is going to take a long time to recover. What are the economic repercussions for losing LA to being razed to the ground? Mm, mm. Oh yeah. But no, I think you say I have a double child, but okay, hold on. I saw something up here. Maybe different ways to live which are not homeless but non-traditional aspect. Okay, that's something good. At this point, language nuances become relevant. Majority of the people, how to get out of homelessness means how to be, how to re-enter private rental market. Not at all what we are doing. Yes, there's a large group, and it's getting larger and larger of a group of people that are just they're choosing to be homeless because it is a better lifestyle and they can live on less and enjoy more. Now this would be a time where a cart would come in handy. Yeah, okay, so we got that far. Okay, so all oh, what's up, Bushcraft? Um, but I mean, I don't know. Uh, I heard they're already planning on building condos on the ashes. Yeah, I heard something like that. 100% wool blankets from Canada are going for 20 bucks, 26 bucks on Sportsman Guide. Holy cow, how thick is it though, Alfred? You want something medium or heavy thickness to be able to deal with the cold temperatures. If it's thin, it'll probably deal down to about 50. Mm. All right. Well, I'm probably going to have to stand up here in a second. But this chicken casserole was really good. Nuance, what does choose to be homeless mean? It's not lying you have a mansion somewhere, Tuck. Technically, you have not chosen this. Society thinks we have houses when we say words. I don't understand what you mean by that, platypus. Mm. But what homeless entrepreneur was suggesting, Canadian wool blankets are real thick. Okay, good to know. Mm. One of the things that homeless entrepreneur was saying that I should do is I should still travel. Being with Farm Girl, that was one of the things that I kind of conceded to give up, as I wouldn't be traveling. She kind of wanted a guy that was going to be home, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. I can give up my traveling. I've been doing it long enough. I've kind of sorted my oats, but traveling is kind of part of my who I am. But I'm willing. I'm ready to settle down. So what he's suggesting is that as certain things like things that are happening politically. Um, Starting to have some sort of like newscast to talk about how things are happening within Congress, what stuff's happening, so that that are affecting homelessness in one way or another, and to be able to give opinion and bring awareness to what's actually happening. And that means going and being on site in some of these places. So like a Supreme Court decision, like the Grants Pass case. Well, I could have, I should have covered that a little bit more. Actually, they came down with that. I probably should have stayed there a little bit longer, but I was eager to get out of there. There is a there is a heavy police presence in Washington D.C. Um, I think they have a total of 50 agencies to operate in Washington D.C. Maybe it's more, but something like that. So, but being on site for stuff like that, and to be able to go and do some on-site reporting of things that are happening, that would be able to bring attention and awareness. Here, guys, I'm gonna move. And this would be able to bring attention and awareness to not only the homeless issue, but it's starting to bring it out to the average person. And while I'm out there, because every time I go into a city, I'm going to need to make connections with the homeless services that are there, so that I can, get something scheduled. Talk to them about it, get in front of them, and have a conversation. And oh, what's up, Matt? What's up, Matt DeKing? They're on the thicker side based in the climate there. And okay, um, chucks and stream your practice. Well, that would be funny. But this gives me a chance to travel, but to travel strategically, to do it with purpose and with method. I'm not just traveling because I'm homeless. Okay, money making idea, hear me out. Get a dog shock collar, and for every $10 in super chat, you get a shock. Won't kill you, but maybe, but maybe really funny for us. After all, isn't it all about your audience? Yes, that is true. But not. We've always got you to liven up the situation. But I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try working on that. But what my long-term goal is, if I'm gonna do this, and I think that this is probably going to end up being the route that I need to go. So, are you homeless or are you unhoused or do you live outdoors? Um, I don't know what I am anymore, platypus. Um, I was homeless. I got a piece of land. I got a place inside to be, even though it's not well put together. It's nice. So am I necessarily homeless or unhoused? I don't know. Um, you can't expect me to, be in misery the whole time. I've got to, get off the streets and say that I've done my time. And well, I mean, I've done my time. Now it's time to show people the next stage, the next chapter, because some people want to be out here, but most people don't. And for those of us that want to be out here, you guys are like some of my core people that watch a lot of the stuff that I do, because you actually can resonate with me, because we have, excuse me, we have camaraderie in our experiences, because we've been doing it for as long as we have. But the thing is there is a great dispossession. Is any of the land adjoining your land for sale as well, so you could potentially expand? I know that the two on either side of me are owned by an individual. Um, are owned by an individual, but I'd probably be able to go and make them an offer if I had cash in hand. But that might be something that I want to do, because yeah, I could take about 6 acres around here and turn it into something a lot more attractive than what it is. It doesn't matter what we call each other as long as we're comfortable. You gotta be able to accept your situation. Just because you're homeless doesn't make you a drug addict. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're just sucking off the government tit. Most people that are homeless, they want to get off the streets. They don't want to, like this. Okay, part of what caused friction with me and Farm Girl. Okay, is she was used to supporting herself. She was used to having money come in and to be able to pay her own bills and not have to ask for any help and stuff like that. And then because of a couple of bad decisions, now she is in a point where she has to be dependent on somebody. And you know how angry it's a person. You know how hard it is for a person to deal with that psychologically and emotionally, especially if you're so used to being independent and self-sufficient, to now where you feel like you just have to, expect somebody else to take care of you. It's demoralizing. It's dehumanizing. It makes you feel like crap. And especially when you're first experiencing homelessness, it's going to be the strongest, because you're going to carry around so much self-guilt that that yeah, you're just going to carry around so much self-guilt that it plays out in your whole entire life, in the way that you see people, in the way that you interact with people. Because on one hand, you're like, man, I'm a hard worker. I'm a hard worker. Yes, Patriot. I'm a hard worker. And so why am I in this situation? Well, you're in this situation because you didn't you didn't put all of your ducks in a row, set up a foundation. If you live by word of mouth and side work so that you can actually maintain yourself, well, then you better have a strong foundation when you move. If you're in the digital economy, make sure that you have a place where you can get online and use the computer and have access to power, because that's what you'll need to be able to do your job. But you should never move and then expect everything to be good. I learned that one the hard way the first time I went homeless, because I expected to go homeless, but I was kind of hoping that I could find a job and not be homeless. So as soon as I got to Dallas, I went and started applying for jobs. Well, it turns out between like the about a week or two before Thanksgiving until January 15th, the only jobs that there are out there are seasonal jobs. And you don't want seasonal jobs because it's not really going to pay the bills, and it's not going to get you into a place because it's temporary. And it means as soon as the season's over, you have no job. And so again, it's temporary work, and it's from that time to that time, you can't get a job anywhere here in the United States. At least that's the way it was 25 years ago. So, Tuck, both of us have gone from asses in the mud in tents to being inside our own trailers. We both have to remember our progress. We have high standards, expectations of ourselves. Well, my overall, I don't, it's not about expectations. I don't have any expectations of myself. Yes, I want to do well. Yes, I want to be successful. Yes, I want to accomplish my goals. Um, but the thing is, just like I did the two houses, I did it as a community project to benefit a community. And I didn't need to enrich myself because I benefited off of the rewards of what it was that I was doing, because I got a free place to live for 2.5 years. I got to fix up a house. I was within the neighborhood. I was respected and appreciated. And it not only retained and improved housing values and increased security. You know, I did all this stuff as a community project because, in a lot of ways, I am my brother's keeper. Yeah, people are, if you have a solution to somebody's pain, do you give them that solution or do you keep going? Well, if you are your brother's keeper, you give them that solution. And, but it is. Okay, well, hold on. And I'm saving money, no problem. Well, that's really good. I'm proud of you. Saving money is one of the hardest things to go out here. Living outdoors, it changed my mind in later years, but now I'm just refining my outdoor living method. I work 18 hours a week, got everything I need, and I have a vehicle. Oh, okay. And that is really, really good for you, Jago. I'm really glad to hear that you got into that. See, for some people, homelessness will benefit you, but the thing is, you got to use homelessness for your own, for your own personal gain, not own personal gain. Think of it like this: you're turning over a new leaf. You screwed up. You made a bunch of wrong decisions. Now you've burned your bridges. Now you're homeless. Well, do you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, or do you reinvent yourself? Figure out, okay, well, I really don't like this career. I don't like this, but this is what I liked, and so I want this and this part of my lifestyle, but I don't want the rest of it. So let me see what I can fit in there. And it may be your career, it may be your living situation, it might be whatever it may be. You have the ability to turn over a new leaf, reinvent yourself, because the world is a giant sandbox and it's your mind that creates your reality. And so therefore you can use your mind to see positive or to see negative, to attract or to repel. Okay? And that's the reality of the situation. So Sam, I keep making the same mistake 2-1. Okay. Okay. You got, that's awesome, bro. I remember what that was like. Yeah, I mean, um, being able to save money is freaking awesome, guys. I think that's awesome. Okay, so uh, if I thought about this, I'm just curious what you guys think. if I said, hey, look, anybody wants to pick my brain, ask me any question about homelessness, or whatever I talk about on the channel. I'm not going to talk about personal subjects or anything else like that. I'd really prefer not to talk about religion, but anything else, if you want to sit back, you want to pick my brain, ask me what I think on some subject or whatever. What's up, Joanna? Think about one subject or another. If you wanna either send me $20 in super chat, or in my website through my website portal, and then send me an email with your contact information. I'd be more than willing to sit down with you and have a nice hour-long conversation where you can ask me any question you want, and I'll sit back and I'll answer it. So, that's if anybody's interested in that. I don't know. I was flirting with the idea because here's the thing. I have a lot of knowledge to offer, and to the right people, the knowledge that I have, the questions that they ask can make a huge impact, whether it be in their lives or in a project that they're working on, or how they view homelessness as a whole. So, being able to sit back and just ask me any question you want, and tailor it specifically to you, because I mean, most of the stuff I say is vague, anyways. But it is what it is. Um, I'd like to invite you guys along to my next chapter. I know a lot of you guys have already committed. You guys are going to stay with me no matter what. I appreciate that. You guys are my best friends, and I hope that I get to meet all of you guys one day. I know some of you I probably won't, but most of you I think I probably can. At least if you're here in the States, because I really appreciate that you guys are stuck with me through all of this, and you guys are kind of like the wind in my back. And I got to say, I appreciate you very, very much. Um, it's being homeless and then getting out of homelessness, or at least kind of crawling your way out of homelessness, to a point where you're going from survival to stability. uh it's it, because you know where you came from, and you know where you're going, and you know how um how precious what it is that you have is. That is something that that creates an overwhelming feeling of gratitude. I mean, I've spent 2.5 years, creating content, getting to a point where I felt comfortable enough to be able to even think about buying a piece of land. And if you guys remember, 6, 8 months ago, I was trying to raise money for a van, or an RV. I was preferring a van or something that I could build out. But it looks like by the end of the year, I ended up getting all of that anyways. I ended up getting not only the land, but a place to stay as well, as far as like a roof over my head. And I'm extremely grateful to all the people that made it happen. And that gratitude plays into how I conduct myself as well. And so, um, it is what it is. You got to come. You've come a long way, Tuck. I remember when you weren't even halfway to being monetized. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've talked to some people that were in like my first 80 subscribers, and that came from Michael Horn helping me out. I had done an interview with him on my other channel, and when what was it? And when my channel got deleted, I said, "Hey man, my channel got deleted. I'm starting a new channel. Could you help me out?" So he posted my video on YouTube, or on his blog, and I think I got like 800 views and got 80 subscribers and stuff like that from a lot of those people. So that if you were in my first 500 subscribers, you are some awesome people. The fact that you guys have been here that long, wow. Congratulations and thank you. I hope to meet you one day, because you guys are my core fans. You guys are what inspires me to keep going, what allowed my channel to get up as big as it is. It wasn't just by me. You guys were the wind in my sails. We can build some stuff together. You still thinking about chickens? Yes, Clyde, I'm definitely thinking about chickens, and I would love to, anything you want to do, man. I'd love to sit back and at least meet you, and if we can collaborate on something, that would be cool too. I've been down and out. Had $15 left in my bank account at one time. Well, $15, shit. To some people, $15 would be gold. So now that you're single, nothing's stopping you from making that wood-fired bathtub. You know what? You're right, and I could definitely try it out. What a long, strange trip it's been. Yeah, um, yeah. I started off on bike, met a girl, left on bike, came back on bike, um, uh, left with a backpack, came back with a better backpack after getting, yeah. Oh my God, I've been all over the East Coast. You know, that's something else that's playing into what's up, DFH, that plays into some of the problems that I'm going to be having while I'm here on the West Coast. Being on the East Coast, you could be a little rough around the edges as long as you conduct yourself. So you could be like rah, 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 as you're, you know, fixing their tire. Versus here on the West Coast, it's all about feelings and words and how you say it, what tone, and it's like, oh my God, I'm playing a game in harmonics, and it's it's really hard once, because I mean I grew up in the West Coast, you know, that whole talk your feelings out, but now that I've been on the East Coast, apparently I picked up a lot of that gruffness, and so yeah, it'll be nice to see somebody from the East Coast. Tuck looking at the sand, wondering why it's only one set of footprints. Yeah, thank you. Agree, you deserve the best, Tuck. Okay, what a long string. Yeah, it has been. Okay. Um, but here's the thing, and I wouldn't make it there. You know what? You would if you had the right conditions. Cause yeah, the wind is a pain in the ass. If it wasn't for Farm Girl's truck, and it wasn't for Farm Girl being in my life, I probably would have gone somewhere else. Farm Girl's kind of what put me in this situation to begin with, as far as like me going down this path of decisions. And I like the I like the decision. It's turned out absolutely great. But yeah, it's windy as hell here. Okay, so Bushcraft rebooted, wouldn't make it there. Okay. Um, okay, 30%, 100% wool blankets from Canada and Sportsman's Guide. Wow. Okay. Um, but okay, so one thing that I want to say moving forward, okay, and this is something that I've noticed um, with being a content creator. Sometimes when you're in a specific industry, you attract certain people. I don't know if this is the way it is or if it's just the way that I'm perceiving it, but the one thing that I'm noticing is that everything fixates around my revenue. In the sense of the girls that I'm with, like the first girl, they thought I was getting some money, so they were, I was, with her daughter. But as soon as she realized that my buddy wasn't sending me the money after all, she put him onto some 80-year-old man so that they could get housed. I don't know what happened with Pebbles, if she's just got a reality check of what it would really be like to be on trail. It's not as great and glamorous as she thought it would be. But, even here, it all boils down to finances. And I think that sometimes, especially in certain communities, especially within the homeless community or those that are like, really close to homelessness, um, you kind of have to, it's part of your survival that you have to have some predatory behaviors, or behaviors that are geared towards safety and security. And I think that because I talk about homelessness, I need to not date within my YouTube channel, because that is a majority of what I have. Versus if I was doing something else, I would be attracting a different type of female. But I think that when you got two broken people together, it's going to be nothing but a tornado. And that is something that I'm going to have to work on. So if I do date moving forward, it's not going to be somebody on the YouTube channel. Women can tell me how whatever they think I am, but I think that for me, dating on YouTube or entertaining dating on YouTube, no. If it's somebody I see passing by and we have a connection, maybe. Okay, but so because it's just I'm having people come in and out of my life, and for a homeless person that's normal. But for the average person, they're like, damn, you got a lot of people coming in and out. No, because, the world is a revolving door. Relationships last for so long until something happens. And then that person moves along. You guys don't talk to each other. Then maybe 6 months later, you come across each other. You say, hey, man, I miss you. And then you rebuild that friendship until something else, and you just kind of have that constant cycle. That's kind of what it's like when you're homelessness. All the women just unsubscribed. That's funny. Sweet deal. Did you order any? Oh, okay. I just confirmed that Sportsman's Guide does indeed have the wool blankets. Yes, okay. I'm doing all right. Just trying to survive winter. Yeah, winter is. I don't know. I think we're out of the worst of it. I'm thinking about it. I already stocked 100% wool hospital blankets from Italy last year, but too cheap not to get one for or two extra. Well, yeah, I mean, if they're just the little thin ones for yeah, that you want something that's going to be like for a queen size, it's going to be like 6.5 pounds. You're going to want something that's going to be that heavy. And that's a lot to carry around on your back. But, it is what it is. But anyways, guys, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Not only what kind of happened here. Like I said, I don't really want to be public about what happened. But as far as everything goes, I'm gonna go back to doing what I normally do. This may end up being more of a home base for me than a static position, because if I'm going to move about the country, this place is just where I come back to when I'm done doing what I'm doing. So I have a stable place. I can come back to my stuff, my home, and come in, go to bed, be fine. So I think that that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward. We're going to be talking about this more in future live streams. I want to say thank you for being here, guys. You have been absolutely amazing. And I will see you in tomorrow's live stream. Same bat time.